Hello, welcome back to this episode with Cold Steel Buckler. This is a addendum to our previous episode with basics of using a buckler with your sword. This episode, we're going to step out of the sword fighting fantasy and talk a little bit about the self-defense application with the Cold Steel Buckler. To put it in perspective, this is a piece of shield that is about a foot wide and weighs close to 2 pounds, nearly indestructible. I don't know if you run over this with your car, if it would even break it. It's really solid, okay? Which means if it encounters anything like elbows, shoulders, collarbones, face, kneecap, shin, whatever you hit with it, if you hit hard with it, it's going to break, okay? Not the shield. Whatever body part you hit with this, teeth, nose, forehead, okay? It's way better than hitting someone with your fist. Now, do I really recommend using this as a self-defense tool, especially for home defense? Well, obviously, it's going to be for home defense. I imagine most of us not going to go outside strapping this to our back. And it's not the kind of thing that you can just put in your pocket. So this is more like a home defense kind of tool, not for like street level self-defense. Unless, I guess I can see someone keeping it in their car. Might not be a bad idea, because when it comes to defensive tools, is it the best? Like, personally, do I recommend it? Not really, because it's made for mostly blocking. But put it this way, do I prefer a pocket knife rather than this? Yes. But if someone comes at me with a baseball bat, if someone comes with me with a machete, a golf club, a screwdriver, a pocket knife, someone comes with me with most hand-to-hand weapon. I'm not going to count handguns or stuff like that, right? I don't know how bulletproof this is. I don't think it is. But in most cases, like whatever the person comes at you with, if you are very good at putting this in the way of oncoming threat, very little is going to get through it. Okay, someone can swing a baseball bat at your head full force, and you put this up in time, it's going to stop it, and you're not even going to feel that much shock on your hand. This is designed really well to take a lot of impact away from your hand, right? Someone can swing a knife at you, and if you can get this in the way, that knife is not getting to you, right? But that is the primary requisite, is you need to be very good with this, okay? So this is one of the things that why I personally don't or wouldn't really recommend you use this as your primary self-defense tool unless you are just particularly squeamish about most of the other conventional self-defense stuff. Baseball bat is too heavy, and knife is too fatal, too lethal, and pepper spray you don't like it, and yada yada. Like, okay, if you have if you are doing this as a personal preference, then okay, it will work. But again, you need to be very, very good with this. Okay, you need to train. This is not going to be something that you keep under your bed for 5 years and then suddenly pull out and defend yourself with. No, this is something that you need to train with and be very familiar with how this moves in your hand. Train with a partner, train with by yourself, and this will serve you really good if you know how to use this. So the blocking aspect is very obvious, right? Train with a partner, use a training knife, use a training sword, use a training stick, right? Have your partner randomly swing at you and try to learn how to deflect and get this in a way without having to use very big motion. We talked about this in the sword fighting uh, aspect. If don't do the big opening and close motion, you should be using more circular motion. And this applies in using this for blocking for self-defense as well. Now, since the blocking aspect is so obvious, we're not going to linger too much on it. I want to talk about how to use this as an offensive tool as well. Because like I said, this is hard enough that whatever you hit with it, elbow, wrist, hand, face, collarbone, hip bone, kneecap, shin, whatever you hit with it, even if you just go right into the person's chest, if you have enough force and momentum behind this, you're going to break whatever you hit. This is a very solid tool. First and foremost, of course, if you have a little bit of a, I don't know, Captain America fantasy, you can always try to throw this at a person. And make no mistake about it, if you throw this hard and if you are really good with throwing this, like a frisbee, right? This is going to do a lot of damage when it hits a person. Obviously, after that, you don't have your self-defense tool. This is why I actually really don't recommend this as your only self-defense option, right? If you have a knife or a machete and then you get something like this as a secondary self-defense tool, great, good for you, right? Now you're almost unbeatable unless the person coming with a gun. So you can use this to block. You can use this to throw. You can also use this to strike. Now the striking part is very uh, important that you practice on a heavy bag on something because it's a little bit like striking with your fist. A lot of the stuff you do in boxing, a lot of the standard punching stuff, you can do with this because this is with this handle sitting into your hand. This is basically just an extension of your hand. Right? You can punch really hard with this, no problem. But if you are not used to it, you might hurt your wrist. You might twist your thumb. You might get really tired very easily. Don't forget, in a real confrontation, most likely the person is not going to be this far away. It's not a boxing match. Okay, they're not going to stand back, give you time to wind up with a shield, right? Most of the time, in a self-defense situation, it's going to be very close up, very messy. The person going to try to hit you with their weapon. The person going to try to take the shield away from you, and you need to learn how to operate from short distance, which means learn to generate that short range power. Right? So the key is try to do short circular motion like knife work, very much like knife work. Rather than winding up back and forward, try to move your arm in a circular motion. Right? We are punching with the boss of the shield into the head, into the stomach, into the chest, right? You can do straight, standard straight, jab, or cross. You can even do a hook with that. You can do an uppercut with this. With the uppercut, we're cutting with the rim. So this takes us to the second. So the first primary motion is smashing with the boss of the shield. Okay? You're smashing with the boss. And the second motion is to cut with the rim of the shield. This narrow, hard rim will do even more damage than the round front of the shield. If you hit someone on the wrist, on the hand with the rim, it doesn't even take that much. It's going to break bones, right? But when you're hitting with the rim, it is a little bit awkward. Some people will try to whip it like this, okay? Whip it like they are clawing the person with the rim. This will only work if your motion is up and down, okay? Don't swipe sideways like you're throwing a hook with a rim. It's not going to work this way because the outer side of the rim will butt up against your forearm. It's going to hurt the heck out of you, especially if you make hard contact, right? Try to do an up and down into the face, okay? That you don't have to swing really hard. You don't have to it's still going to impact your forearm. It's like when I just did that, it still hurt my forearm, but it's not as bad as this from the side, okay? Not to mention, if you can get the person down the front of the face, you will effectively blind the person, which is another point I want to make with buckler. It's a good blinding tool, right? If you can get this in front of the person's eyes, even for that split second, they are going to lose direct line of sight of what you're doing. So keep that in mind as well. So using the rim, we can strike downward to the face, or if we are going to hit with the rim, rather than clawing or swiping like this, like from the side, use either the bottom of your fist or the top. So where the handle attached to the rim, okay? Because this will allow you to just remember this motion. We're talking about the circular motion. When working with a sword, this is the same principle. Circle, boom, hammer right into the side, right into the leg, hammer, circle back, boom, right into the side of the head, circle, boom, into the collarbone, circle down to the leg, up to the head. So I'm not hitting with the east and west of the shield. I'm hitting with the south and north of the shield. Practice with this. Get quick with this, okay? Because most likely it's not going to be a one strike thing unless you get a really good shot in. When you're struggling, you might get one not very heavy shot in that will open up opportunity to slam it down into the person's leg and then bring it back up to the head like that. But you need to be able to do it fast, right? Now, let's talk about what happened in the struggle for possession of the shield, because that is probably going to happen. The good thing is, most likely, for them to control your shield, they have to use both hands, right? Because you have the handle. For them to grab the shield, they have to grab the rim, right? I don't care how strong they are, how big their hand is, they grab the rim, you have the shield, you have the handle, you pull and twist, they have to let go, right? It's that they don't have very good control, just especially they can't wrap their finger around this. It's like a monkey grip, right? Not very good grip. So for people to actually try to wrestle the shield from you, they have to get both hands on the rim and try to either push into you or pull you away, pull the shield away from you, right? And that's a solution for both. If the person grab the shield rim and start yanking, okay, start yanking, don't struggle against it, rush into it, okay, step into it, hold onto the handle, take your free arm, set it against the wrist, one of the wrist, whichever you can get to. So what we're looking at is like this, okay? I'm cutting my forearm across the wrist, so I'm touching my own bicep with the rim of the shield. Once I do that, I'm going to twist and whip the shield back so they don't come too close. Okay, so you're making a big circular motion, okay, whip the shield back to clear some space, right? If they push into you, this is a more dangerous one because most likely your attacker is going to be bigger than you are. So if they have momentum and size and they grab onto the rim of your shield and drive into you, this is going to be difficult not to let go. Okay? And this is why I say I don't recommend this being the only tool for you, because when that happens, let's say someone grabs the shield, drive me back, what I'm going to do in this case is I'm going to open my hand, but I'm not going to let go of the handle. I'm going to open my hand, slide my wrist through the handle so the shield is anchored to my hand. Okay, they can push back, yes, they can push me back, but they won't be able to extract the shield from me. While they're pushing me back, while this is anchored to my hand, I pull my other defense tool out of my pocket, and guess what? If they're pushing in, they're right here, right in front of me. I can just have free range right there, right? I'm not teaching you guys to murder people, but obviously in a situation like this, it's very serious, right? And once they let go, if they see, oh, you're coming out with a knife, they let go and jump away, then you get your shield back. Now you still have your knife in your offhand or knife in your lead hand, and you still have your shield. Like I said, very good combination. So yes, the cold shield buckler will definitely make a pretty good defensive tool and offensive tool for striking, for smashing, for throwing. But unless you want to clock in a lot of time training with this, you want to be really good with this, and you are for some reason just really gravitated to using something like this for self-defense, I say get a proper knife or pepper spray or stun gun or something like that. It's more reliable. It doesn't take as much training, doesn't take as much effort. But if you do want to use this for self-defense, just remember, lots and lots of training and practice. Thank you for checking out this episode. We'll be back again later.